tofu but have no idea how to cook it, or maybe you're curious about tofu and want to have more plant-based foods but aren't really sure how to prepare it. Or maybe you've seen all the varieties of tofu at the store and it's so confusing. I get you. There's so many tofu options out there. So today I'm talking about tofu, how it's made, the different varieties, how to use the different varieties, how to store tofu, and the nutritional aspects of tofu. This video is inspired by one of my clients who asked me similar questions about tofu. I've eaten tofu for most of my life. It's a staple food in my fridge along with almond milk, eggs, egg whites, and peanut butter. I love tofu because of the smooth texture and the flavor it picks up in the food cooked with it. I love it hot, cold, fried, steamed, sweetened, pretty much every form. My grandmother would pan fry it, steam it under fish, add it to stir fry, soups, or Chinese stewed dishes, so it was a staple growing up for me. And when I'm at a Chinese restaurant, my favorite dish is tofu hot pot with seafood, which is stewed tofu, not hot pot with the soup. Anyways, let's first talk about how tofu is made. Tofu is made from soybean that is soaked in water, crushed, and then boiled. And then it's separated into two, the soy milk and the pulp. This is similar to when you use a juicer. You put the fruit or veggie into the machine and the juice comes out with the spout, and then the pulp and the fiber residue comes out of the other end. The soy milk is then mixed with a coagulant and cooked at a high temperature to create curdles. A coagulant is a substance that causes curdles or lumps. It's like lemon juice added to milk to cause it to curdle. In tofu making, common coagulants are calcium sulfate, magnesium chloride, and calcium chloride, which are edible salt coagulants. Glucono-delta-lactone, which is also an edible acid, or protein enzymes, are also used. Soybean kernels are put into molds and pressed to release the liquids. The amount of pressing determines the firmness of the tofu produced. Tofu that is soft or silken doesn't require pressing. The kernels are placed directly into the package like the containers. Tofu is then pasteurized. Pasteurization means it is treated at high temperature to partially sterilize the product so that it can keep a longer shelf life and make it safe to eat. It's a form of food preservation. Different types of tofu and how they are prepared. There are a lot of variety of different tofus out there. Soft, medium firm, extra firm, pressed, dried, tofu skin, strips, frozen, fried, and fermented. Each type can taste very different and have very different uses. Tofu absorbs the flavor of the dishes, making it a tasty, delicious, plant-based protein option. The softer the tofu, the higher the water content because it has been pressed less in the production process. Soft tofu can be used in soups, common in Korean tofu soup, or blended for smoothies, cream soups, or sauces. There is also egg tofu, which is an addition of eggs to soft tofu. This creates a richer flavor with the addition of the eggs. Egg tofu comes in a tube form that you can just slice through. You can see how to prepare and use egg tofu in my fast steamed egg tofu and minced meat recipe here. Medium firm and extra firm are less delicate. Firm and medium firm can be used for stir-fried dishes, while medium can be used for pan-fried to decrease its delicateness and added to dishes. These tofu options can also be used to make a crispy tofu. Check out my 135-calorie air fryer crispy tofu recipe here. Dried tofu is made from the skin of boiled soy milk, rolled and dried. It can be easily rehydrated with water and used in stir-fried dishes. It usually takes a few hours for the dried tofu to rehydrate depending on how thick it is. Tofu skin in strips is tofu that's pressed into thin strips and cut into noodle form. You can buy them smooth or you can get them textured with tiny circles. These circles help sauces stick on the tofu. They are found in the refrigerator section and are ready to use and eat. It's common to use these in stir-fried or cold salad form with soy sauce, hot sauce, veggies, and sesame or chili oil. Frozen tofu is usually used in hot pot. It's literally tofu that's been frozen and then thawed. This creates large holes in the tofu as water expands when frozen, and once thawed, it creates a spongy-like texture, perfect for soaking up the flavors in hot pots. I frozen medium firm and extra firm tofu to get this consistency. You can also buy frozen tofu in the hot pot frozen section of Asian grocery stores. Fermented tofu is made from salt, rice wine, and other flavors. It's sold in a glass bottle and used as a seasoning for cooking. It gives a salty, sweet, and slightly cheesy, in other words, umami dimension to your dishes. It's commonly used in cooking stir-fry stews and veggie dishes like Buddha's Delight or stir-fried veggies. It's commonly sold in Asian grocery stores in the sauce aisle. Tofu can also be made sweet. As I mentioned, tofu is so neutral and picks up flavors easily, so it can be made into dessert form. It's a common Chinese dessert to have tofu pudding dessert. You can add soft tofu in your smoothie for plant-based protein or use it to make my vegan pumpkin pie. You can get the recipe here. How to store tofu. Soft, medium, firm, and extra firm tofu is found in the refrigerator section of the grocery store and needs to stay refrigerated. Once opened, you can store unused tofu in the fridge with clean, cold water and eat it within 3 to 4 days and change the water daily to ensure the tofu stays fresh. Dry tofu can be kept in your pantry until you are ready to rehydrate and use it. Tofu strips and skin can be kept in the fridge. Use it before the best before date. Frozen tofu can be thawed in the fridge, and fermented tofu is to be kept in the fridge once opened. Tofu Nutrition. Tofu is a great source of plant-based, heart-healthy protein. The firmer the tofu, the more protein it has since it contains less water. For example, one serving of extra firm tofu, 85 grams, has 14 grams of protein, while the same weight of soft tofu only has 5 grams of protein. Of course, since the water content is higher in the soft tofu, the calories are also less per same gram weight. Have you tried these different varieties of tofu before? What's your favorite?